Hey guys, Solar here, back again with another review and the very first installment of Flashback Fridays. And today we will be taking a look at the Mattel DC Universe Classics Wave 10, the Clown Prince of Crime himself, Mr. J, the Joker. He is a part of the Imperiex Collect and Connect wave, which was a Walmart exclusive wave, if I'm not mistaken. And before we get into the meat and taters of this review, since I no longer have the packaging for this figure, we are going to move right along to the accessories. First up, Joker comes with this big old honkin' mallet to whop you over the head with. Next up, he comes with his trademark Joker pimp cane, as well as some trademark Joker playing cards with little teeny tiny Joker faces painted on there. Very nice attention to detail, if I do say so myself. And last but certainly not least, he does come with the fish. Can somebody let me know in the comments below what the significance of the fish is? I'm not too familiar with it. I'm more familiar with the bang gun or the chattering teeth. Although I must say, I don't think this is the first time I've gotten a kind of laughing fish with a Joker figure before. But with all that being said, let's now move on to the aesthetics and articulation. Taking a closer look at the Joker here, this is pretty much my mind's eye view of the Sultan of Satire, the Clown Prince of Crime. I don't know if he has another nickname. Those are the only two I can remember off the top of my head. The third is Mr. J, of course. Harley Quinn, for those of you who live under a rock, always calls her bae Joker Mr. J, which I actually, funny story, do not have a Harley Quinn to go with this figure. I have never bought a Mattel Harley Quinn figure. The only Harley Quinn figure I have is the DC Collectibles Batman the Animated Series 1 to go with that Joker. And literally, whenever I buy a Harley Quinn figure, it's to go with the Joker figure. So, I should probably get on that before she gets too expensive. She's part of the, I think, Gorilla Grodd wave. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Joker here. I absolutely love this figure. The only thing that's kind of an eyesore on this guy is this back plug here. Because this guy is recycled from Gentleman Ghost right down to the coat. They didn't even tool it to kind of plug this hole up. So you got this kind of raised part on the back here. It's not terrible, but it's not ideal either. Most companies would have just tooled a new jacket to go over top of this, which almost looks like they might have because of the flower, but maybe this is a separate glued on piece. Other than that, you know, he's got the pins. It's a 10-year-old figure. You're gonna have to forgive it for that. We didn't have pinless tech in what, 2009, 2010, whenever this guy came out. But other than that, you know, he's got very naive articulation on part of that, which, you know, that wasn't really the norm. But with the dark days of Hasbro Marvel Legends coming to a close, and them kind of dialing things back as far as posability goes, Mattel didn't have to step it up a whole lot. Although I wish with the suited characters they gave them a hinge swivel elbow. I think they would have had a little bit more range. And you wouldn't have this ugly bicep cut up here. Which, again, I'm not crazy about how they cut this guy up at all. It's not ideal. Especially nowadays, or really back then. Because you had a lot of clean figures in this line too. But the suited figures are probably the worst offenders as far as Mattel being Mattel. At this current time anyways. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head will rotate side to side. He does look up and down a tiny bit. You don't get a lot of that in this line, period. Maybe get a little bit in the earlier waves, but nothing crazy. Shoulders go out to the side. About a right angle to the body, so that's respectable. Actually, they go past that. Holy crap. Goes all the way out there. Goes back down. He's got the big kind of peanut lump there, but there's not much you can do about that. It's got a swivel. Shoulder as well. Bicep swivel. Single joint at the elbow, which doesn't really give you 90, so that's not great. swivel in the wrist. Ab crunch works a little bit better than the later Joker they did, which we will be pulling out for comparisons. You can crunch forward a little bit. Can crunch back a little bit. Waist swivel is non-existent because the shirt's made out of hard plastic, so you're not going to get much out of that. The hips, they go out to the side. You can do the splits, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, the infamous gaping crotch pits of Mattel have finally seen the light of day on Overlord Productions. Check that out. They improved this quite a bit later on in the Multiverse line. The Mattel one, not the McFarlane one. And they did actually put that new-ish, whatever you want to call it, way of cutting out the hips on the Joker figure in that line, which again we'll be pulling out for comparisons. But you gotta love how like terrible these are as far as aesthetic goes, but how much range you get out of them is bar none. I mean, look at that. Perfect splits. And then he can't really kick forward to save his life. So, you know, you probably could shave a little bit of this off, sand this down, get him better forward. But it is the Joker. He's not a ninja, although sometimes he acts like one. But this is like your, you know, super retro classic Golden Age style Joker. I don't think he's going to be doing some ninjutsu flips and stuff. I think he's just going to kind of stand there and laugh at Batman, how stupid he is. Or he thinks he is, anyways. He's got a thigh cut. Works okay. Single joint at the knee, that's pretty loose. I don't care for that. I mean, that is flaccid. Not much you can say about that. This side's a little better. This side feels like there's something rattling in it. Maybe that's just the foot. It is the foot, never mind. But this knee is a little loose on mine, so, you know, it is what it is. And then he has a hinge in the foot, which actually feels like it's got a little bit of detent to it. It's got some rockers, which aren't worth a gosh darn. And he's got peg holes at the bottom of the feet. For the display stands they actually did make for this line. Did I say he had a wrist swivel? Well, he does. And on this side, it's a lot tighter, but you can hear that. You can rotate it around. I think it's just the cuff might be a little bit more enclosed around there. I don't think it's the joint being tight necessarily, but that is the Joker. This is a great figure, man. If you are doing the DC Classics line, you don't have this figure, you're missing out. I'm not going to be one of those a-holes to say, you don't have a collection if you don't have this figure, but you can't have a Batman Rogues Gallery without a super retro classic Joker figure, and this one and the one in the Multiverse line are the two that come to mind that Mattel really hit out of the park. They did a really nice job with Joker figures. There's also a black suited variant that came with the Harley Quinn figure. It was the Mad Love 2-pack. Kind of debating on maybe trying to get that, because that Harley Quinn has the white face as opposed to the weird blue from the Wave 2 version. But I also think it's kind of crazy we got the Joker like 10 waves in, which is like halfway through the line, for those of you keeping track. This line only had 20 waves. The Joker came out in Wave 10 and was a Walmart exclusive. Harley Quinn came out in Wave 2, which, as far as I know, was distributed everywhere. So, you know, take that for what you will. But with that being said, let's now take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's the Mattel DC Classics Joker next to the Mattel DC Multiverse Joker and the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Joker. Up next, here he is alongside the dynamic duo Batman and Robin. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the MK11 Spawn, who as usual towers over everyone. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and not only am I glad to finally be adding what I think is the quintessential Joker for the DC Universe stuff from Mattel to my collection. Once again, special shout out to Mr. Brian, aka my dad, aka the old man for the hookup on this guy this past holiday season. Really appreciate that. But I am very happy to be starting to do some DCUC stuff on this channel. DCUC is a line that's been dead in the water for many, many years now, and since Mattel no longer has the DC license, it is now currently with McFarlane, and McFarlane, I love McFarlane, but he doesn't really do tried and true classic interpretations of the DC universe. Thus, we have this old Mattel line to look back on, and while some of the decisions are very much naive at this point as far as articulation and overall construction, and even in some cases quality goes, I absolutely love this line, and what better way to kick off a bunch of DC Universe Classics reviews than with the Clown Prince of Crime himself, Mr. J, the Joker. I absolutely love this figure. This is, once again, the quintessential Joker for my DC collection now. The Multiverse one Mattel did is alright, and if you guys want me to take a look at that for Flashback Fridays, I most definitely will, as long as you request it. But until then, I'm probably going to try and stick to things that came out maybe 10 years ago. Toy Biz Legends, Mattel DC Classics to be specific. Maybe some Motu Classics thrown in there. It is the 20th anniversary of 2000X, so I do have some of those characters. Anything's possible. But with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy the first installments of Flashback Fridays. We'll be doing plenty more of these as time progresses. I have this entire wave, actually, Wave 10 of the DC Classics line. That's how we're going to be kind of kicking things off here. We'll take a look-see at every figure from this wave, including the Collect and Connect Imperiex, and then I'll move on to another wave. I'm thinking maybe Wave 5 or Wave 16 or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But, that being said, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this first installment of Flashback Fridays. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more content to the channel. And let me know what you think of the new review format. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What can I do to fix it? Do you like the 8-bit metal tunes I'm throwing in the background now? Just trying to make things a little bit more interesting, and have you guys sticking around to the very end of the video. Hopefully the videos are a lot shorter from now on, since I am doing a little bit more with the editing, the cutting, the whatnot, so let me know how I'm doing. I'm very curious. Inquiring minds wish to know. But if you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.